Okay, hello everybody, welcome back to my channel today. I'm Kevin and today we're back to our politics topic. So, our topic today is another topic that keep going on the rule of empire topic. So, in our last topic, we already talked about how a country going to invade the others and become an empire. So today we are going to talk about empires and their violence on the colonies or colonies. So the main topic today is talking about how the empire doing stuff or doing things with their colonies and how the colonies fight back for their independence. So let's get straight into our topic. So the Europeans often built up their empires by military conquest and ruled by an authoritarian way. So they believed their way of life was superior to be the ones they encountered in the colonies, and even believed that it was their duty to civilize the people they meet, which means that they think that the culture in the country is the most good one or the best one they could have. And they also think that their duty is to force everybody or the colonies that they invade to follow their religion and follow their culture. So that's simply what I'm talking about. So empires use a variety of methods to keep power in of their colonies for themselves. So let's talk about some way that the empire use their power to force the colonies to become part of them and take power from their colonies as well. So let's talk about some examples after we are talking, after we consider about how they did it. But I think that some of the examples may be going first. So I'm going to make the examples go first, right? So for example, the America used to be invaded by Britain, and of course they have a lot of Britain culture. They are going to do things that Britain do, and of course they have to pay tax for the Britain government. So that's what exactly will happen when empires using their variety of methods to keep the power on top of their colonies. Okay, so there's some kind of things that the empire could do to take the power or keep the power with their colonies. The first one is about language and religion. So all government business was conducted in the language of the ruling empire, and these things making it hard to overturn the system from within, because as long as a system has the same language, the belief of the citizens and the members in that system will always meaning or thinking about the country who have that language. For example, as long as America's system, their government system, they still talk by American language. So even though there is some kind of country, for example, like China, or for example, more like Korean, or even Japan, could maybe in World War II, for example, in World War II, maybe they could won the fight and take America to become their colonies. But still, as long as the members of the American government system still talk with American language, the Japan people will going to struggle to find ways to going to change the government system of the America, because they don't know how to speak American. You could say they don't know how to speak English. So that's the real things will going to help America prevent themselves from being truly or completely invaded and turn into another colonies one more time. Okay? The second one, that the border confusion. I call it the border confusion because to keep the power for themselves, the empires made treaties with each other to take more resources, but it's not by locals. They do it on many different colonies and then get resource back to the empire's country. And to draw up borders, they use a method that to spread the citizens, the community living on both sides of the border apart, which means that those people cannot, or you could say that don't or didn't, or you could say that cannot be allowed to talk with each other and be friends. If they does, maybe they will be Buddhist, but I don't know what is Buddhist. Yeah, I don't know what Buddhist is. I mean, yeah, what is the Buddhism is? Okay. The third method is seizing land, which means that the rich settler took control of the best land or the best colonies, so they could make money from that colonies, learn or flow into their pocket, and that thing also keep the best colonies in their empires being prevent from getting too rich and too powerful to turn up a fight into themselves. Okay, turn up a fight against them. So that's the third method. The fourth method is about making new enemies. So it's very easy when you have an enemies or another enemies. You maybe will forget your first enemies and maybe will become an ally with them. So this is also a way that the empires use to make their colonies turn into their ally and doing everything they say. You just need to take over a country and then you make or you do some political tips to make a new enemy appear, and those enemy maybe don't have any good things for you if you fight with them, and maybe sometimes you do have some like some good things or some good stuff, or you could say that you still got something after you won them. So if you got one of those situations, maybe your colonies will going to turn into your ally and do everything you want because they still want to keep their community and also their nation be safe. So at any price, they still going to do what you want and hope that you will get their safety. Okay, so that's all about the method that the empires use to take control over the colonies. And of course, after a long time of being being controlled, a lot of countries make a protest and fought against the empires for their own independence. And of course, after the 20th centuries and the after the 20 centuries and the time that they fight, there are many colonies that win or won, and then they turn into another nation with their own independence. Meanwhile, countries around the world began to agree that the empires were not a legitimate form of government and should be disallowed, which means that this thing takes so many control and it makes us feeling uncomfortable, and also it's not keep us from being safe. So I think to have a good and peaceful world, we should delete or erase those kind of government. And that's how the government, or you could say the empire government, being erased from the history. And of course, however, many former colonies, or you could say, no, don't need to talk about however, but you could say, after that, still there's some country or some nation that don't have enough economic power and also don't have enough money to turn themselves into the better country without the empires, and they are struggling to deal with those things by those problems when they didn't have the empires anymore. And that's all I want to say with you guys today. I think that's all enough for today, and this topic is really long like the others, but it's much more longer. And of course, this is the end of my video today. Thank you for listening, and maybe, or of course, I will see you guys on my next video. And now I think it's time to say goodbye. Bye bye.